Kia ora mai tata, no mai hoki mai ki te seminar on making film. Now, before I start, teachers as well will be asked questions, because teachers have different questions to students sometimes as we go along. I have Piri here today, who's my director on many of my... Just let them know this is Piri. He's going to be talking about some technical things. That's the wires, computer softwares, and the stuff that I have no idea about. I know nothing about it. And Jay is going to be doing some interactive work with you, and he works with my school programs, and he'll be doing some primary stuff. Who's made a film? Yes, very good. Who's got a phone? Who's got a mobile phone? Yes, good. Who's got one at home? All right, who's got one? Okay. Who's ever been to a party and videoed someone on their phone? Yes? You're all filmmakers. If you can make something on your phone, you can make film. I've made a film on my phone once. It went on a festival on a big, big screen. It went somewhere overseas just from my phone, okay? So there's no reason, all the flash stuff we're going to show you today doesn't mean that you can't make film, all right? So what we're going to do first is we're going to show you 4 completely different films. A documentary, something very colourful, there's a whole bunch of stuff, and then we're going to get into the workshop. Thank you.
We had to walk a mile to school, rain, hail or shine.
Join me and find out how the Māori language nearly disappeared to now, where it's an official language of Aotearoa, New Zealand.
I don't use drugs or alcohol. Biking gets me naturally high.
Glance 1. All defences fall. For you've unlocked a hidden door. Side by side, I'm just a little paralyzed. Hypnotized. Fixated by your eyes. You're my rose. I'm wholly fixed on you. Total fascination is you. You're my rose, I'm wholly fixed on you. Total fascination is you. You turn away, still you feel my gaze. Your scent drifts my way. So there's 4 completely different short films. The last one with the crazy man with, like, from the Batman's Joker, yep, that was me. You knew it, did you? Very good, very good. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I make films. Thank you, Jay. We're going to go straight through what I did a long time ago, in a year called 1995. That was last century. I first wrote a tango, and that's a dance. And then the museum came to me and asked me would I make these short films about the rose, and we had about 12 days, really quick, to make all these films. So I found this, carry on through, Jay, and we did some reworking, carry on, we changed it again, we changed some words, keep going, and then I added some te reo Māori, keep going, Jay, we kept changing it, and this is how it looked. We're very happy here, completely different. But the museum said they'd like more about roses. So I had to go away and rewrite it again, and a bit more, and now you see in the chorus, Jay, you just go down here, you're my rose, I'm wholly fixed on you. So that's called compromising, and that's and teamwork, and that's what the biggest part of filmmaking is. You might want to make Avatar. Have you seen Avatar? It's a wee movie, it's doing quite well, yeah. Avatar. You might want to make that, but you end up doing something which is still good, but smaller, because that's what filmmaking is all about. Even if you heard of Peter Jackson, yep, even he has to compromise. He might have hundreds of millions of dollars, but he still has to compromise because that's how we make film. Carry on. Now, when we made it, you saw the strange faces, or pretty. You might think it's pretty. No, not okay. This is all the ideas I had to make. I did lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures and research to find out how I was going to look like. See? And it came from my own culture, from Māori, it came from Spanish, it came from Japanese, it came from David Beckham, a footballer. It came from everywhere, every inspiration. Because what I do when I create is I don't, that's me as well, yes, covered in roses. Last one, Jay. That's it. What I do when I create, which I encourage you to do, is go really big. Have fun. Have fun, because that's what filmmaking is. It's about having some fun, doing what you want to do, telling a story. Yes, and that's what we're going to do this morning. All of us this morning, with the help of Jay and Pity and myself, are going to make a story. Okay? Right here, right now, in the next 14 minutes. So, moving on. Before we shot the film, we had to do a thing called a storyboard, and this is how it looks. Okay? So this morning, we're going to start making a film. Who has an idea for a film? Yes, please. Loudly.
A super horse.
What? A super horse. Love it. Super horse. Yes. And what would the super horse do? Anyone have an idea? Someone else over here. Yes?
It can fly.
Super horse that can fly. We like that? Yes? And where will the super horse go? At the back.
I had another one.
All right.
Shoot, snot, tries to beat villains.
What's that?
Shoots snot and tries to beat villains.
Shoot. Excellent. That's enough. Super horse flies, shoots snot to kill villains. Okay? Are we all there? Do we understand? No, we're going to do more after. Hands down. We're going to do. So that is our story today. We are going to film that today. Yes? Good. Okay. Okay. I know you want to add more. So what we're going to do now, thankfully I've got Pity here because he's going to do that. So what we do, we've made the story. And before we make the story, we need a director and a whole team of people. Now, Pity, this is his company Supply, and this is what they do. Excellent. So he's pretty good, isn't he? Yep. So I have a story and I want to make it, but without Pity and my team, I can't make the story. Okay? That's really important when we all start making films, that we have a really good team. And now we're going to show you the process of how we might make a film. Storyboards, signing off, filming, editing, post-production, music and soundtrack. It looks like a lot of stuff, doesn't it? Yeah? But if we just plan really carefully, we can all do it. Here we go. So the first one is a storyboard. Now, a storyboard is the super horse that flies, that shoots snot on villains. Okay? So it might be the first picture, if you could just point at the top. There's a mother talking to Junior going, Junior, where's Super Horse? Go over to the next one. Another picture might be, I don't know, I've got to feed Super Horse with my candy. Go to the next one. Go up to your room until you find Super Horse. Comes down and she's found something else. That's the kind of thing we would do. We would draw pictures. That was quite good, I think, for improvisation, if you ask me. All right? So that's kind of what we all do. And the picture doesn't have to be flash. Okay? It can be very simple. But this helps you know what to shoot. Otherwise, you get your video camera, don't you? And you just film and film. Have you all done that? Been to a birthday party and just run out of memory on your phone? You've gone home and gone, oh, yeah? We've all done that. We go, oh, I don't know, I've got too much stuff. So we need to have a little amount for what we want, and the storyboard helps that. Thank you. This next one, you know what this one is? King Kong. This is the real storyboard from the film. So every single square that Jay is going to go across and show you was shot and then edited into the film. Now, if Peter Jackson didn't have all that, he wouldn't know what to do, would he? Yep. So it's really important you plan the film. Thank you, Jay. This is another storyboard, isn't it? Pity you could talk at what's this one?
This is more of a simple storyboard, just using found images. So you don't always have to draw. You can write it down sometimes, or in this circumstance I just used Photoshop. It's quite an easy way and a quick way of creating storyboards.
Now these next three, I'm just going to wait, Jay, just go to the top corner. Look at this one here now. See this one? Yes? Okay. So, this is a storyboard we did for the Roses exhibit downstairs. See, that's very simple, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't have to be flash. Just got to be scribble so we know what we're shooting. And this is another one we did for the Scary Joker. And this is the one I did for Cleopatra. Now we're going to show you, and this is another way of doing it. This is how I do it. Now, see, Pity does it one way. This is how I do it. I collect pictures, like down here, and I move them all around. And I say, right, I want that to happen and that to happen, because that's how I work. So making a storyboard can be done with bits of fabric. It can be made with felt pen. It can be made with photographs. It can be made any way you want. Thank you. And this next one is how a storyboard comes to life. Your mouth was a bloom that scattered strange perfumes. I have kissed your mouth, and there was a bitter taste. He poroka kawa, ko te rongo toto ne. Was it the taste of blood? Some say that love has a bitter taste. If I were a princess, would you scorn me so? There was nothing in the world so white as my rose. There was nothing in the world so black as your eyes. In the whole world there was nothing so red as your blood. I am parched for your beauty, I am hungry for your sight. So there you go. All the pictures became the images. And that film, for example, was based on another little film called, might have heard of it, Twilight, New Moon. So I wanted to make a Māori vampire. So I was a Māori vampire with a Japanese geisha knot and a big, huge robe with script from a famous author called Oscar Wilde and Salome. And I put them all together to make a film. So you might have a story at school that you're working on at the moment in class that you want to what we call adapt, to change. Yes? So that's all kind of creative parts. Here's another one. This is the final product.
Coming into focus, I could barely believe my eyes. Got those shoes that are built to kill and a dress made to advertise. Can I get a little longer before you walk out? I'm really sure.
Very good. And then, then we have flash strobe. Good. All right, straight on to sign off then. The one before is a shot list. All right, now remember this will all be on the website, so you can come back and get these details later. Oh, it's here. This, if you look up here, each list is what we are going to shoot. And sometimes we put it in order. A shot list is very important so you know when you've got the camera and all the actors. So, I want the super horse to be flying in a close-up. That means really close, super horse flying. Carry on. Now, this is very important. This is probably where your teachers become involved, but it's the sign-off. So I make costumes. This is out of some old curtains, okay? But I did ask the person before I took the curtains down, okay? So before you, for example, skateboard. Anybody skateboard? I shot a skateboard film a long time ago in a garage, in an underground car park. We thought the person had asked for permission. They hadn't asked for permission. So when we got down there, what do you think happened?
You got kicked out.
We got kicked out. Okay, so we had all the skateboarders, a camera person, a sound person, makeup in here, shooting. That was very annoying. So it's very important. The other thing with sign-off is you want to make sure that, that the client, in this case the competition, they might have wanted blue aliens, but you thought you'd deliver pink ones. That's not the same, is it? So you've got to always make sure that before you do anything, it's signed off. Thank you. Making a movie takes a lot of time and involves a lot of people. The director. Okay, the director's job is to make sure the finished product looks like it's meant to look like. Okay? So, the BMX bike, remember the BMX bike short film? Yes? So the BMX bike short film, that's what we're making. But the director decides to deliver one with 12 ballerinas. Is that the same film? No. So you have to make sure we want to deliver what we're working with. The director works closely with the camera operator and the producer. The producer, now who's very organised at school? Yes, there must be a few of you. Yes, right. If you're organised, you're probably a producer. Because producers have to make sure the lunch is there on time, that you're all catching the bus at the same time, that all the camera is there, all the talent is put together. That is the producer's job. Yes? Cool. Sound technicians. Sound technician records sound. And then lighting, which we're going to go into in a minute. Sound, lighting, I'm going to hand over to Pity in a minute with some discussions about sound and lighting. Lighting is very, very important. If the lighting, does anyone do lighting? Some people in some of the schools? No? Okay. Do you have a drama class at school? Yes? Okay. Often in the drama class, there is someone who does the behind the scenes. You can't make the film without these very important behind the scenes people. Oh yes, safety, that's right. Yes, I knew there was something, teachers. I knew there was something coming up. Okay, yes, so sound and lighting and cameras, you need an adult to help you to make sure that you're not going to blow the power up. Have you ever done that? Put the heater on and the whole house has gone, Yes, so you've got to be very careful with power. Next one, if you're making up something, is costume and makeup. Now, like I said, this was an old pair of curtains. This is some old fabric that I found ages ago that we just cut up. Now, the good thing about film, nothing needs to be sewn very well because it's all imagination. It doesn't have to be, it can have holes, it can even have dirt on it because it won't come up. But with costume, it's really good to play. So if you're going to play a super horse flying in the sky with super snot, maybe it's got a gold lame thing on it, hasn't it? That's, just agree with me. Come on, say yes. Okay, yes, that's good, that's right. So it just flies across. But you'll be surprised what you can find. And the $2 shop, everyone uses the $2 shop. I can assure you Peter Jackson uses the $2 shop because it's cheap. Okay, so, and we know, what's your budget? $5.50? That's right. So you have to go to the $2 shop. And play with that. Carry on, Jay. Next thing is the actors. Possibly one of the most important in the production, because without the actors you can't tell the story. And now I'm going to show you a clip. Now, sometimes it's all a little bit flash. Do you agree? Seems a little bit flash. But sometimes you can just hold a camera and the talent will do all the work. Okay? Thank you, Jay.
We'll do that in a minute.
So here we go. One camera, a man in a suit in the sea. You see, you laughed. It worked. Easy, isn't it? You have the advantages of, you have one advantage over experienced filmmakers. You don't know what's wrong. So you can play all the time and make mistakes, can't you? Whereas Pity and I, we've got a budget. We've got to move to something. If we make a mistake, it's, yeah. So play, keep playing. Thank you, Jay. Next one.
Okay, people, hold on tight. We have permission to commence with backup.
Hey there, buddy. Oh, yes!
Whoa. And I'll get Pity to come up for a second.
I'll just quickly talk about animation. The main thing to consider if you're going to be working with animation is that it takes a really long time. So this one here we did a couple of years back. There were a series of 6 animations. They took almost 6 months to do. So, I mean, you guys aren't going to have that sort of amount of time, but there are different types of animation you can do. Stop frame animation. Has anybody ever tried doing any stop frame animation before? Or claymation? Yep, so those are the kind of techniques that you will have at your disposal, really. But if anybody wants to talk about animation and different types and things that you can do, I'm sure we can have a chat later on.
Sorry, what software did you use?
This was done in Maya and edited mainly in After Effects afterwards, just to give the the shine and the lighting and stuff. This is an example of green screen. What you'll see here, and the whole. Does anybody know how green screen works? Yeah. So basically, the green that you'll see over on the left. What it means we can do is make it invisible. So what we've done here is on the right in post-production, we've made the green invisible so that we can start layering things in behind. So in this circumstance, we've put an orchid behind Mika. Editing. Now this is where things probably can get a little bit complex and why storyboards are really, really important for you guys. If you end up filming hours and hours of footage, you're going to need to edit it at some point. So storyboards are really, really key for this. Now, at your disposal, if you're on a Mac, has anybody here used iMovie before? Yep. Okay, brilliant. So you're either going to be using iMovie. We use Final Cut, which is another Mac product, but you can also use on a PC. I think there's a Windows Movie Maker, which I think some of you will use as well. The clapboard. So, do you guys know what the clapboard's for? Yep. Exactly. So, what it means is when you're coming to editing, and you'll see the clapboard will tell you what scene you're at, what position it is, who the actor is. So when you're editing, you can just quickly at a glance go, okay, that's the scene I'm after. I can cut that out there, and you can start editing and putting it all together again. So this is an example of what we do in post-production. So on the left, you'll see that it's a pretty simple film. It's just straight on with Mika in costume. And then on the right, what we've gone and done is we've put smoke on. We've added all the flowers in the background. We've also put a grade on it. Now, color grade is quite important because color grade will give you tone. So if something is lit possibly a little bit harshly on the left, on the right, we'll do a color grade, and that'll bring it down to the tone that we want that'll match the background and give it the overall effect. Music and soundtrack. Do you want to talk about that, Jay?
So music and soundtrack, make sure you have copyright. So say if you're using a Beyonce song, when you have to ask Beyonce if you can use it. Okay? There is a piece of paper that you'll receive at the end, and it's got some websites you can get free, no royalties, so you can actually use them. So they're free loops or free samples that you can use as sound effects. Now the other thing too is sound effects, and we did a thing with another seminar where instead of having sound being put in, so like if I was to film something and I wanted a certain type of sound, we don't have to film it like then on the spot. We can actually do it in editing. So you can actually make sounds. So like if I'm trotting along, you can stop your feet, so stop your feet. Okay, so then there we go. We can record that and we can use that later. So say if I was flying and we wanted wind, so you go, okay, go. You get the picture? So, you can use your own sounds, and you own that, correct? No one can say that you don't own that because it came out of your mouth and it came from your feet.
Look, thank you all very much for coming. If you have any questions, of course, talk to Diane. Oh, and here we go.
Oh no, I was talking about the glove.